We've come a long ways from the king only having a sword available to him. In fact, when the Iron Fist was introduced on January 10th of 2014, the crowds went wild for him. And I don't know about you, but I was equally excited whenever hero equipment was introduced in December of 2023, along with the king's equipment. Can I get a huh yeah? Can I get a huh yeah? But recently, some equipment was buffed and other pieces were nerfed, so which pieces should we use? Let's get into it. I could do an equipment comparison like I've done in the past, but in reality, these buffs and nerfs have just made each of the pieces of equipment pretty much equal across the board. And there are tons of different scenarios in which one piece might work a little better than another piece when entering from a specific direction, or if the king reaches a certain point in the base. So instead, I'm going to give you 5 equipment combinations and which combinations are best to use with which attacks, so that way you know which pieces of a king's equipment will work best in which situation. The Giant Gauntlet, in my opinion, is the strongest and most versatile piece of equipment for the king, and as such, it's going to be the main piece of equipment I recommend paired with other pieces for the greatest effect. Now, the Giant Gauntlet was nerfed, but the effect is still the same. We still have that massive splash damage, which can come in super helpful. We have 55% of that Eternal Tome ability with the king. We also have, oh, that's right, 40 self-healing in order to keep the king alive that much longer. So what should we pair with the gauntlet and under what scenarios? Number 1, if we have a compact base or even a compact section of a base that we're sending the king into, then we will see the greatest effect with the gauntlet and the rage vial. Sure, the spiky ball is OP, but if you're going for the greatest amount of smash effect in clusters of buildings, and you can take advantage of the Gauntlet Rage Vial's massive damage and strength, then this will be the optimal pairing. However, if you are sending the king around the base and using him for funneling, then pairing the Gauntlet with the Vamp Stash will help ensure the king stays alive for longer, enabling him to do way more damage overall. So having that 300 healing per hit with the Vamp Stash and also that 40 healing per second with the Giant Gauntlet ensures the king will stay alive so much longer. Again, assuming we're not sending him into the base into a ton of damage. Now, if we're going to be doing air attacks or any attack where we need to grab defenses over a wall, and we want to use the king to do that, then that's where the spiky ball comes into play. Now, we could pair the spiky ball with the gauntlet, but in reality, if we're sending the king around the base, then again, I'm going to recommend the Vamp Stash over the gauntlet in this scenario in order to keep him alive as long as possible, doing as much damage as possible. Now, if maybe we're wanting to grab a defense over a wall with the king, and at the same time, farther on down the line, bust him into a compartment, whether that's to grab a hero or to grab a cluster of defenses, then that's when we would pair the Giant Gauntlet with the spiky ball. Again, looking at each situation that we can put the king into and looking at the equipment that we can use and making sure that we pair the equipment with the situation in order to attempt to get the best results possible. The new Barbarian Puppet ability is very cool and is definitely an improvement, but I struggle to come up with scenarios where it might be good to use. We could, for example, pair the Barbarian Puppet with the Eternal Tome on the Warden to get some massive destruction from those Rage Barbarians, but in my opinion, Super Barbs are best in using them for funneling or taking out defenses towards the perimeter of a base, and not when vulnerable to splash damage towards the center of the base. Now, does that mean it's not valuable, and if you are currently using it with your king and finding success with it, that you should stop using it? Not at all. The reality is, as I said earlier, all of the pieces are now very well balanced. It's just when it comes to the Barbarian Puppet, I personally find better uses with other combinations of King's equipment. Now, the last combination that I find absolutely fascinating is the Earthquake Boots and the Spiky Ball. One of the negatives of the Spiky Ball is that it can leave targets up to continue shooting, which is the same issue we have with the Seeking Shield on the RC. But when paired with the Earthquake Boots and the 60% damage it does at max, this allows the Spiky Ball to take down every defense on the base except for the Town Hall. So this combination would work best when wanting to take out a large compartment with high value defenses, or even completely opening up a base if we can get the king to the core. This might work best on bases that are not quite as compact, where the Gauntlet Rage Vial combo would really shine. The reality is, if we can get the king in the exact right spot on the base, then the Spiky Ball Earthquake Boots just might be the strongest combo available. Let me know what you're pairing with your king in the comments below. And remember, there really are no right or wrong comments or answers here. It's whatever works best for you. I gave you some scenarios that could work for you that I have found worked for me, but let me know what you're using. Make sure you like and share this video with anybody who might have questions about the best pieces of King's equipment to upgrade for the types of attacks that they're using. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel to show support and also to follow more content just like this. Until the next video, my name is TipDog20. I'll see you then.